says is write headlines that people want to click on, which is nothing new. That's kind of been documented well before. But it's another example that writing headlines that get clicked on in search results result in more people coming to you from search results. So the big question is, how do people search? People use the internet and they use words. They use keywords. So if you actually use a language that people are accustomed to typing, right, the more likely it is that your search, your website, I keep saying search because we're a search engine, the more likely it is that your website will be discovered in search engines. So where do you start? You start with a brainstorming session, and this is overly kind of for people searching for you today. The content that you're creating, and I can't comment on the content that you're creating, but how would people in conversations day to day be talking about the content that you're creating? And then just think about, like, what is the goal, as Victor mentioned in our last talk, like, what is your long-term goal? Like, why do you exist on the internet? What content are you constantly creating? Keep that in the back of your mind as you're doing your keyword research. But it's pretty clear that if you map how people search to the content that you're creating, and you create a one-to-one relationship, your content will be discovered. It's the old saying, like, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? If you're writing content that no one's searching for, chances are no one's going to read it, right? So you need to understand exactly how people search, what their behavior is, and then you take that information and you use it on your website. You use it in the titles of your articles and the links in your articles, and Cheryl will touch on that. But there's actually some great tools to make this really easy, so you don't have to spend more than 5 minutes a day doing this. The first tool is Google's search engine itself. I don't know how many people actually use this feature, but it's aggregating keywords that are the most popular keywords. So if you just, for example, type in a word and don't hit enter, look to see what pops up on Google. So you type in how to get organized for back to school. Google's going to show you a list of popular queries, popular phrases that people are using. So you can see how to get organized for middle school, how to get organized for high school, helping kids get organized for school. Those are 5 blog post ideas that you could do right there. 5, unique blog posts, and that takes 60 seconds. And then at the bottom of the page, it's going to show you recommended searches. Again, take that content, take those recommendations that Google's giving you, and turn it into your own articles. So start with a base phrase. It could be parenting, it could be, Disney, it could be any number of things, right? And then just type it in Google and don't hit enter, and see what the suggestions are. There's another tool that Google gives you. This is self-fulfilling because they're looking for you to become an advertiser. So they give a lot of data about people's search behavior on the internet and how much it would cost to be discovered in their advertising platform. And the tool is called Google AdWords. If you just go to Google, you type in Google AdWords, it's this keyword planner. It's free to use. You have to put in your credit card information, but they'll never bill you. It's pretty simple. We've got a bunch of articles at the end of this presentation with some how-tos that you can use and walk through. But it's going to show you that, for example, preschool tour, there's an average of 40 searches per month in the country for that exact word. Compare that to the phrase pre-kindergarten, there's 3,600. So it gives you a sense of how to prioritize. You don't want to focus too much on writing articles about keywords that no one again is searching for. So it's another tool, free to use. And then the last great tool is Google Trends. It sounds like I'm endorsing Google, but I'm really not. It's a website. Go to google.com/trends, and you put in different queries, and it shows you the popularity and the change of popularity over time. It's a fun exercise. You can put in the name of your blog, the name of yourself, the name of your friends, or content that you're interested in writing about, and Google shows you the trend of how popular it is. So you'll see a spike when Caitlyn Jenner did her awesome SB speech the other night. You'll see a spike in search demand for that. So one of the things that we wanted to provide is just a way to stay organized. So afterwards, if you want to grab this presentation from us, you can download this spreadsheet, but it's what we use at Noodle to keep track of which keywords we're writing about and what content we're trying to rank those particular keywords for. So if you want to come up and grab it, we'll make that available. But if you take away nothing else from my 7 minutes of bantering up here, this process really doesn't take long to get started. 3 easy steps. Use one of those tools to find a keyword and to understand how popular that keyword is. 2, list out the keywords and related keywords into a spreadsheet. It sounds like work, but it's really not. It just helps you organize the process. And then use those keywords, the popular ones, in your articles, in the titles of your articles, in the headers of your articles. The earlier you use the keyword, the better, because Google reads pages just like us from top to bottom. So if you're using keywords at the bottom of the article, just like a reader, Google probably is going to ignore it. So you use your core keywords early and often. And this exercise is literally 3 to 5 minutes as a starter. So there's plenty of things you can do to drill in deeper to this, and we've pulled in together some resources at the back of this deck. But I hope this was a helpful overview about keyword research. I'm going to hand it over to Cheryl to talk about how to use those